Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get rolling here, Josh. We are getting several people kind of logging in as we go throughout here, but that's all right. I'll take a little longer on the intro. And folks, my name is Jeff Clark. I'm with GoldenCare USA, Regional Director here. Been with GoldenCare for 25 years or better. Lately, my job is to recruit and retrain agents. So I guess I oversee the southeast part of the country and some other kind of scattered parts, the northeast. But I have about 3,000 or 4,000 people, I guess, agents in my region. Of course, a lot of these are inactive. And so the $1,000,000 question is always, Jeff, how can I write more business? How can I create more buzz? How can I see more people? This is the same question that every insurance agent that's been in the industry for the last 4 decades has been having the same issue. We need to see more people. There needs to be more of me because I can't do it all myself. So the normal trajectory of most folks is they get in the business, they have some success. At that point, they kind of stop because they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the service, they don't have the staff to answer phones. You can either sell or you can take care of people. You can either start cross-selling other products or take care of your existing customers and keep doing what made you successful. The point I'm making, I guess, at some point in the transition or the natural progression of agents is that we really start to get bogged down. And that's when we stop growing. And so the $1,000,000 question is always, they're looking for us as a marketing office for agents need help. They need guidance. They need things, tools to help them, be more productive, to make more of them, to have a duplication of services. So with Josh Malang, a good friend, I've worked with Josh for 15, 20 years. Josh has been there. He came into the business and built himself a heck of an agency, power agency. But at some point, he realized that same ceiling you run into as an agency, as anyone wants to be successful, is you need help. You need to have good staff. You need to be able to train people. You need to be able to cross-sell. You need to be able to save the business you've got, retain it. And so many agents struggle with this, that this is a tool that really excited us. When I first saw this, I guess a couple of years ago, 1.5 years ago, I thought, what an outstanding thing for these agents out there. This isn't for the agent who wants to write 1 or 2 apps a year and call it good. This is for the guys the gals that they want to see something, a future in this business. And so if you want to level up, if you want to, make your business grow, there's a lot of great tools you're about to hear about. This particular segment's the agency builder. And again, Josh has done it. He's built it. He's seen how hard it is to get to that next level. And so he's put together a lot of fantastic tools to help people get there. So Josh, if that's not too much of an intro, we've got a lot of people in there. I'm going to turn it over to you, my good friend Josh Malang. And Josh, go ahead, take it away.
Man, that was, thank you, buddy. That was a hell of an intro. I really appreciate that. That was, and no elaboration whatsoever, man. That's amazing. So, yeah, I've worked with GoldenCare for, like Jeff said, 10+ years. Really, when I started my agency in June of 2008, I started working with them, and they've been an awesome partner, upline, resource, support, everything in between. I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to kind of share some of this stuff with people. And as you mentioned, man, it's really a lot of the issues that we're all running into. There's issues that I ran into, and the reason why we're building out this business is because we're not alone. There's a lot of people that are facing the same challenges and obstacles, and really trying to do what they can to grow their agency, grow their practice, and still take good care of their clients. So it's an ongoing challenge, and we feel like we've, as you mentioned, got to the point with the scale and infrastructure to really provide some value. So just a little background. I got into business, worked for a captive agency, did a lot of work in the senior market. That was kind of my niche in 2002. And so grew personal practice pretty well with that, got into management, did okay with that, started my business in June of 2008, and really built that off of recruiting and training and developing. So from I don't want to call it credibility, but just experience standpoint, with this agency builder structure that we're going to talk about today, that was the entirety of my business. I recruited and trained and developed people to build my agency. We had on average about a dozen producers, up to 18, down to 6, depending upon the time. We ran an LOA shop, so everyone was a license-only agent from my agency below. At about halfway into it, we typically have 1 or 2 managers at any given time, 1 or 2 staff at any given time. But we did get the thing built up to about 6,000 clients at one time. and a pretty successful little agency. But after about a dozen years of that, just really got to a point where it was like, man, I was looking for some new challenges, and really trying to get into a new market. And so sort of took inventory of what we had, and we'd really built out a great book of business. We built out a great staff in terms of our actual W-2 employees, and we built out some pretty compelling technology. So I really took inventory of what we had and tried to figure out what to do for the next 10 or 12 years, and really started working with other agencies and creating value for them by providing resources and structure and support, and then started plugging into the IMO relationships I had to kind of share the story. So we talk about agency builder, we've talked about top producer structures, and soon we'll be talking in a couple of weeks about succession planning. So these are a few of the major issues that we've seen, and we built some structures that kind of plug into these programs, if you will, to really help people figure out what to do to get to the next level, as Jeff said. So again, man, thank you for having us on the call, and it's been an awesome relationship, on the retail side for years and years, and now in the B2B space, it's been a fun work with you. So without further ado, so getting into this here. So let me bounce this off you first. So one of the things that we find is absolutely critical now everything's gonna be from an agency builder standpoint. So as an agency builder, you really want to, there's two components to being an agency builder. Number one is the retail side of it. So you're working with existing clients, you probably have a book of business, you're wanting to grow that book of business. And the other side of it is really kind of the wholesale side, where you're bringing people into the industry. So you're helping with recruiting and training and development. So whether it's for the retail side or the wholesale side, either way, you want to build a compelling brand. You want something that people are recognizing, whether you're attracting clients or you're attracting recruits or staff to your business. Having an established brand and messaging is really, really critical. We had built originally Malang Financial Group was my original agency, and then we transitioned that into Retirement Protectors, which is a brand that we are currently using on the retail side. But really having a brand is super important. So a lot of the people that we end up working with are people who are, solopreneurs. They work out of their house, or they may have one assistant, they may have an office on the square or something like that. But a lot of them are, Jeff Clark at yahoo.com or that type of thing from a branding standpoint, and not just email, but just brand in general. So what we try to do is help people create that sort of initial foundation of branding so that they can create some credibility in the marketplace. So let me go into this a bit. And Jeff, can I keep you live on here, man, just in case I need to ask you questions and stuff?
Yeah, I'm live. I'll stay live. Yep, I'll be right here.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so this is an example of we built this thing called Brand in a Box. So there's three different components of the branding structure. The one is just really the branding materials and that sort of thing in and of itself. And then the other thing is some of the web things that we do. And then the other thing is some of the client review and SEO things. So really step one, kind of phase one, if you will, is this is the brand in a box stuff itself. So this is an example of some of the materials that we build. So we have an inventory of, let me go over that. We have an inventory of a couple dozen brands that we're always refreshing. So we built some. The hardest part about the brand story is like, God, man, I've been like, I know I need a brand. I just haven't figured out what I want my logo to be. I've been working on that. How long have you been working on that? 15 years. Okay, well, let's maybe just pick one up. I don't think, as long as you got something that's not offensive, that kind of fits into the business that you do, it's fine. Nobody's like gonna buy or not buy from you based on your logo. It's just a matter of creating that branding, creating that messaging, and putting it out in the universe. So we have a couple dozen of these. A lot of times people will look at them and go, hey, I like that one. Great, we'll put your name on that one and that'll be your deal. Anytime someone takes one of these, we take it off our inventory and we replace it with new ones through our graphic designer. So we do have, like I said, a couple dozen of these pretty cool little logos that you can jump right on. Now, if you have a logo and you love it, great. We can build some of these things around that. If you don't have a logo or you don't love the one you have, we should be able to help you with that. So let me go back to the page here. So what we'll do is put together, some of these basic, really honestly, it's stationary stuff. Business cards, really, really high quality business cards. These are some of the things that we can get set up for you in terms of being able to communicate to your clients. Happy birthday, policy anniversary, thank you cards, that kind of stuff, as well as the really basic letterhead stuff. So again, if you have a logo and you love it, great. We can apply, that to all these things. If you don't have a logo or you don't love the one that you have, we can help you build one and apply to these things as well. So we found that these are really nice touches for people when you're building your relationship with them over time, to have that consistency in messaging and branding. It really does go a long way. It seems trivial. It's not. I'm just telling you, it's super important for people to see that consistent message from you. So again, here's just a few of the logos that we've built. And then one of the other things that we put together with this is what we call a firm brochure. And what that really is here's who we are, here's what we do, and here's what we value. You know, a lot of people kind of at the beginning of a relationship are really trying to articulate who they are and what they do and what they believe in. That's a way to kind of help with that positioning. And also, if you've got referrals or anything like that, it's a really good way to say, look, you know, we don't work with everybody. If you're a fit, you know, you're probably into the same stuff we are, and if not, then that's fine too. But that kind of firm brochure really helps to communicate to people what you're about and the work that you do. The other thing is our point of sale brochures. And so we build these out. We've got several of them built right now. We have one for Medicare changes and benefits. We have one for Medicare ancillary benefits, which talks about home health care, long-term care, you know, all those types of things that you guys work with GoldenCare for. We also have one for life insurance basics, retirement income basics. We have one for property and casualty or personal lines basics. And we're building one right now for ACA plans. So any kind of Obamacare or Affordable Care Act stuff, which is a market that's really heating up now that there's, you know, there's some, the market is calmed down quite a bit. People are getting paid, and there's some great technology out there. And so that's actually a market a lot of people are getting into. So, but anyway, we've got these point of sale brochures, again, set up with your brand, with your information, with your logo. And these are a really great way to communicate to your clients. We found that by educating people on what they have and letting them know what their options are, it's a heck of a lot better than trying to sell them stuff. You know, if you just educate them on what they have and what it does for them and what it doesn't do for them, and let them know what their options are, that's an awesome way to create a relationship and create some new business. And when you're communicating them, you know, from, you know, the Mutual of Omaha MedSup brochure, they think, okay, this is a Mutual of Omaha MedSup person. When you're communicating them with independent branded materials and saying, hey, here's who I am, here's what I do, and, you know, this is a little bit of information about what we're going to talk about today, that ties them to you and your brand rather than the carrier or the product in particular. So that way, when you have additional conversations with them, like Jeff said, from a cross-selling standpoint, you know, it's a nice continuation of that story. It's okay, well, here was the Medicare information. Now we're going to talk about this information. Now we're going to talk about this information. So it provides that continuation of the story rather than like, oh, I thought you were just a MedSup person. Why are you telling me about long-term care now all of a sudden? You know, when you come out and you say, here's who we are, here's what we believe in, here's who we work with, and it's independently branded, then you go, hey, we do this, that, and the other thing, and then you come out with that next messaging. It's not a shock to them where they're like, I thought you were the MAPD person. What's up? Why are you talking to me about my money? You know, so having independently branded materials is a really good way to establish that credibility. We find a lot of people too are using these to, I don't know if any of you are using any type of third parties in terms of like referral relationships with, you know, CPAs or elder care like attorneys, or people are using like P&C agencies, other kind of stuff like that for leads. This is a really, really good way to create some value with those relationships as well by saying, look, you know, hand these out, you know, versus like hand out my, you know, what else are you going to give them? I mean, a business card alone is just, I think it's insufficient. So these are a really good way to create credibility in the marketplace, and you know, and add to the value that you're providing. So this is one of the other pieces of that. So the first thing is really establishing a brand, basic information, point of sale materials, that kind of thing. The second thing is, once you've got those things in place, really putting yourself out there in the web. So we've got a partnership with a firm called Snoozy Inc. They're out of Jersey. They do an awesome job. Our ProDash and our retire protected retail agency is built by them. Super clean websites. Really no nonsense, man. They, you know, they're not a 100-page, you know, $5,000 website. They charge a really, really inexpensive monthly fee. There's no setup, and they can help you take your brand and put it into something on the web. And again, guys, with everything on here, if you have something and you love it, great. If you don't have anything and you need it, awesome. If you have something and you don't love it, we can help there too. But You know, if you've got a website and you like it, you're not a prospect here. I mean, if you don't have a website, you need one, and if you have one and you don't like it, there may be some alternatives. So we're not here to shove this stuff down your throat, but if there are opportunities that we can interface and provide some value for you to help you get to the next level, that's what this is all about. So website stuff is, you know, again, with our partnership with Snoozy, really solid. They also do some weekly posting with LinkedIn and Facebook platforms. So they've got a bunch of stuff. They build their own content. They manage hundreds of these for people. They do a really good job with this as well. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, you want to have an online presence and have that kind of curated, maintained on a regular basis, but you don't want to have to be the person doing the work. So with our partnership with Snoozy, we got special pricing, no upfront costs, and stuff like that. So you don't have a website or any kind of social media going on, this is a really good resource for you. We got that relationship in place already. And then really the third level, once you've got your branding in place and once you've got your basic web presence in place, really maximizing and optimizing that is kind of the third stage of the branding story. We do work with a firm called Lift Local out of Utah. They do an amazing job, and these are niche firms. You know, the branding is, we work very closely with a designer firm that does that. The website and social stuff, that's literally all they do. This is all these guys do is really create. They do two things really well. They optimize your Google My Business profile. So that's the local profile when people are searching, you know, Medicare agent near me, long-term care agent near me, whatever it is. That's the thing that pops up is that local search result. And if you've ever Googled anything like that, you know, restaurant near me or whatever, it'll pop up. It'll have like a little button that says directions, a little button that says website, and then some basic information like that. So this is what really propels you up those rankings, not just kind of Google overall rankings, but the Google local results. So these are people who are actually looking for, you know, who you are and what you do and where you do it. And then the other thing is they really do an awesome job at driving client reviews. So the whole objective with Google's job is to be right. If somebody's looking for a particular product or a particular service, the more accurate Google can be, the better off the reviews are going to be. So they work on two things really that's key in terms of people searching. It's number one, it's prominence, and number two, it's relevance. So the relevance is, you know, your website lining up with your reviews, and the prominence is really what do you got for reviews? You know, if you're looking at, you know, long-term care near me and there's 3 different search results, one of them has no reviews and no website and no directions. The other one has ability for you to text or set an appointment or get directions, and they've got, you know, 40 5-star reviews. You're going to probably go with that one, you know, all things being equal. So getting that foundation of your brand and materials set up, number one. Number two, setting up that website presence and driving that through social media. And number three, really working hard on capitalizing on the existing client relationships you have to drive positive reviews through the web so that you create that prominence within your community. One other cool thing about that is they will proactively solicit your clients for these reviews, and if it's a 1 or 2-star review, it's going to actually notify you to be able to work with the client to get that rectified. If it's a 4 or 5-star review, it's going to promote the client to push that on to either Facebook or Google. So you're not going to get a whole bunch of crappy reviews. So for whatever reason, you got a couple clients that are not super thrilled with the work that you've done for them, or they are and you don't even know about it. Those are going to show up in your inbox. For those people who love working with you and want to tell the world, they'll encourage them to kind of promote that, and so that helps you drive that relevance and prominence on Google. So that's a cool thing. Jeffrey, from what you've seen with the thousands of people that you've worked with over the last couple decades, how can you sort of take that branding story, those 3 phases of that branding story, and apply it to those individuals that you see that have been agency builders?
Well, you know, we have agents of all spectrums. We have beginners. We have people who have been at it for 5, 10 years, never really went anywhere. And then we have some people that are pretty professional, and they maybe got some of what I kind of like what you mentioned there. Some of our agents have got some of what you just talked about. But I'm glad that you mentioned that, hey, you know, they may have 2 of those 3 things down pretty good, but they could use a little help with this one. I do like about it is that you have that ability to kind of just tailor whatever your service you're going to provide for them to what they may need, and you will help with. But the more successful guys out there, generally speaking, are the ones that have a good branding image, a good web presence, and some of the things we talked about. So that is paramount in becoming anything successful in this business, is having that web presence, that branding image, all the point of interest pieces you've got there. Those are just absolutely paramount. So.
Well, and I appreciate you providing that insight. And if you think about it, I mean, if you're trying to hire agents, so we talk about agency builders. So you're either building retail, bringing on new customers, or helping recruit and train, develop staff and sub-producers. So, I mean, I would rather go to work for something called like GoldenCare than like Jeff Clark Inc. Right? If I'm trying to start my career in the industry, I would rather, you know, tell my friends and family and everybody I know, hey, I work for GoldenCare, rather than like, oh, I work for Jeff Clark Inc. You know, it's fun to work for Jeff Clark Inc. And there's nothing stopping Jeff Clark Inc. from building a big successful practice. But from a recruiting standpoint, you know, it gives you a little bit of an edge, right? To be able to hire people. I lost him. He disagrees. And the other thing from a client standpoint, you know, working with, as a client, if you think about from that perspective, working with a firm, working with an agency, even though you may have a bunch of staff and you may have a bunch of producers and you may have a big, awesome business, positioning yourself that way from a marketing and from a branding standpoint, it really separates you. You know, so if you're a GoldenCare USA versus a John's Insurance Agency, you know, it really adds to that presence where people are like, okay, I'm doing business with a company, not some dude. At the end of the day, they may be doing business with some dude, but if that dude's got a brand or a presence to them, it's going to seem like a bigger thing. So a lot of marketing a lot of sales is really marketing. So this is you know, some of the things you can do to level that up. So technology, this is another piece too that we feel from an agency builder standpoint is really critical. Technology. So number one, if you're building an agency, not only are you wanting to take care of the existing customers that you have, existing clients that you're working with, but also the prospects that you're bringing in, and then also you really kind of got to manage your downline agency's business for them as well if you're recruiting people to your business. So technology, having this kind of basic structure of CRM and some of these other things in place is critical if you want to scale. Like Jeff said, if you're working on referrals only, or you're writing 1 or 2 deals a month, you don't have to worry about this stuff. But if you end up recruiting a bunch of people or building a bunch of clients, you're going to run into some of these challenges. And same story with this, where I mean, if you've got a CRM in place and you love it, great. Don't pay attention in the next 10 minutes. If you don't have one, you need one. And if you have one and you don't love it, this is a good story. So with our CRM, which is also called ProDash, we've got a few things in here that we think are pretty strong to help in the senior market. So we built this thing from scratch. That it's very expensive to build technology. Let me tell you, unless you have a huge in-house development staff, you got to farm that out. And when you farm it out, it's like you're paying rates like for a lawyer. They do not give this stuff away, you guys. So we built ProDash really to provide some of the structures that you need as a senior market agency to thrive. And so first thing, just kind of a opening sort of I don't know, homepage, I guess I'll call it. Anywhere in here, you can run an instant quote. So we get data from the same place you guys do, CSG Actuarial right now. So anything you can quote through their system, you can quote through here. The difference here is, and this is why this is key, we have places that you can go to get your lead information. You have places where you store your client information. You have places where you have your existing account information, all the different carriers' websites, and then you have your quoting engine. The thing that ProDash has done is put all those things in one spot. So you can get your leads piped in here, you can get your existing clients in here, you can get your existing policies and accounts in here, and you get your quoting in here. So it really consolidates or unifies those fragmented systems, which ends up saving you a lot of time, and it really empowers you guys to look at your business like a business, look at it like a practice, rather than just, hey, here's how many leads I have. I got my leads, my clients, my accounts. With all that stuff in different places, it's really hard to kind of look at the big picture. So those are the things that are combined in ProDash. So people, this is really just the basic screen that you can search by people. You can search by anything that's a field you can search by. So that really, when you have all of your clients in one spot and all of your policies in one spot and all your quoting in one spot and all your leads in one spot, it's really easy to manage your business and go, okay, here's some blind spots that I may have had and that sort of thing. This is what it looks like on an individual account basis. So this shows, the basic plan information, carrier information, product type, where it's at in the process in terms of issued, pending, submitted, whatever, projected commissions, producers, all the basic stuff that you need. But again, having that in one spot versus having to go to Aetna's website, Mutual's website, Anthem's website, whoever, having it in one spot where you can look at it across the board is super, super powerful. If you're building an agency, the last thing you want is, number one, from a client perspective, to have to go to all these carriers' websites and have to go to your spreadsheet or wherever you keep your client files. That's not good as you get bigger. And then the second thing is, the last thing in the world that you want your agents to do is be going all over the place and look at this stuff too. And Jeff, I don't know, I mean, it was always true for me. For you, is it true that the producers are typically going to find the thing to do with their time that's the least productive, or was that just for me?
What happens to producers is they do get clogged down with all this stuff. It's funny though, sitting here thinking about it. I do some Medicare work. I don't do a ton anymore, but I do have Aetna's logins, and I got Mutual's logins. I've got my Anthem login. I've got my Humana login. I've got so I go to all these different sites, and sometimes you clear your cookies, you lose your passwords. I can't tell you how much time you spend chasing stuff around. To have everything on one place, all your stuff, all your companies have access to that does free you up. And just the other thing I was thinking to myself is, when you are starting to grow your agency, when you're still back maybe your beginning stages, it gets too hard for agents who've already kind of started using this thing and they've already used this thing. They're so far down that road that they feel like they can't move it over. But the sooner you get everything into one place and get more organized, you're going to start moving up or leveling up, if you will. So it's crucial to have everything in one place, for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up too. So one of the things that we do is, that's part of the cost for our tech platform, is we onboard your entire business into here. So we don't care if you've got your client files in a filing cabinet. We don't care if you got them in a spreadsheet. We don't care if you got them in the one card system. It doesn't matter to us. So we're going to bring in your existing clients. We're going to bring in all the information from all these carriers as well. So that's a thing where this is a huge differentiator, Jeff, and I'm really glad you mentioned that. The longer you wait, the harder it is to build out something like this. Actually, with us, wherever you're at is the perfect time. Wherever you're at, we bring everything in for you and onboard it into the system, and then we turn it around, train you on it, and give it back to you in one piece that's got all your stuff in it. So we actually do all of that stuff for you, and that's included in the cost. So that's a huge thing where it doesn't matter where you're at right now in your career or with your practice or whatever. We're going to take what you've got, we're going to put it in the system for you, and then empower you with the tools to audit it and maintain it on an ongoing basis. So doesn't matter where you're at, we can take care of you.
Hey, can I chime in real quick, Josh? See what I'm thinking. I don't know where you're going next with this, so just stop me when you are. So I have, in this particular one, I have 3 or 4 I can see of my real big Medicare. They've got a ton of clients and they're swimming in them. They just, it's hard to keep your hands, hard to keep them all on board. And so, I mean, are you going to go to terms of that retention stuff now and the service team you have provided? Is that the next?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
just kind of screw you up on the tech side, and then we're going to go right into service.
Sorry.
Kind of some of the things that we do to really help people grow their business without having to have
$1
million payroll. So this is one last thing. I think this is the last slide we have on the tech stuff. So this is just an idea of what it looks like for a client overall in ProDash in the tech system. So it'll look not only at the person level, but also all of the product types they have, all the products they have. We've got the ability to drop and drag files in here, so you keep everything really in one spot. It's a really powerful way to not have to have 15 different systems for all this different stuff. So pretty cool stuff. This also, we're talking about agency building from a task standpoint and really providing that accountability for your downline agents and even for yourself if you need it, like I certainly do. Helping you understand where you're at with these different tasks. So we build out some task boards in here. So this shows kind of where people are at in terms of notifying them, setting appointments, performing assessments, and you can track not only yourself but your entire downline and go, hey, who's working on setting appointments this week? Who's working on presenting assessments this week? So this is a way to provide some awesome tools for accountability purposes if you're building an agency. Here's 2 screens here I'm going to go over, and then we'll talk about service, but these are really critical pieces. So when you have all your client stuff in the same spot, when you have all your existing policies and accounts in the same spot, you can actually look at your business like a business. So there's 2 levels of analytics that we have in here. They're really key. The first one is client demographic. So with this, what you're able to do is with ProDash, take a look at the ages that you have, and you can actually click, and it's dynamic. So you click on that, and it'll provide a whole list for you. You can copy and paste into Excel or whatever you want to market to them. So you can look at everybody who you've got who's under 65. You can look at everybody. Let's say you're trying to work on building your long-term care practice. You can really identify everybody who's 50 to 64 and really build out a list and go after that directly. I see that this is set up for our current culture. We have a male, female, and not applicable here for gender. I'm not sure even how that got in there, but so we have gender on here too. So there's different situations from a product standpoint where a particular carrier is better or worse, whether it's male or female. So you can break down your list by that as well. And then longevity comes into play in the med sup. So for those of us who are doing a lot of business in the med sup space, after 6 years, you're getting hardly anything, if not nothing, from a recurring revenue or renewal standpoint. So being able to stay on top of the longevity of the policies that you have really empowers you with the ability to really manage your business like a business. I mean, if you think about it, if you've got customers coming into your store, and after 6 years, those customers, their money is no good to you. They bring in money and you have to turn them away. That's not good. You're going to find a way to kind of remonetize those customers. So it's we are no longer really incentivized to retain business on the books. We're incentivized to retain clients at our company level, and that's really the thing. And that's why GoldenCare is an independent firm. Their goal is to get you to do all your business with them. So they're really trying to help you retain the customer, not necessarily just the policy. Because if you retain the policy, you're eventually not going to make any money, and that's not any good. The goal is really to retain the customer. So if there's a better company or a better product or a better whatever for them, you can be the person that provides that for them instead of somebody else. So that's kind of a segue into our proactive service model. But the ability.
Yeah, can I just say, as far as that monetizing and the commission part, Josh, again, sorry, but it's such a huge part, the longevity part, folks. And we kind of struggled as a GoldenCare for a little bit. And we're an awfully big agency, but if you look at most commission structures for med sup arena, they're going to pay you for years 1 through 6. After that, there's a commission cliff. You get next to nothing for years 7 plus, if you get anything at all. And so here you're at, 20%, 25% for years 1 through 6, and then nothing. So what happens at year 7? All those people you put on board, they're not paying you anymore. Plus, they're paying too much in commission or in premiums at that point. So it really behooves you to be able to go in there and pull everyone that's had this particular policy for 4 years or more. And I got to talk to those people because they're not going to be. They're paying too much, and I've lost all my commission, all my renewals on this business. So half that stuff's gone in 5 years, and most of it, the commission's gone on it. So it's a dead part of your business. That's probably leading into the next one, Josh. But it's a huge thing. When you first showed me this, Josh, I'm like, that's brilliant. I mean, I got a ton of agencies that just don't realize I've added 500 med sub clients. I'm only getting paid on about 100 of them at this point, 5 years later. So this part is really going to help you stick revenue back into your business, which was kind of what it's all about, Josh. Not that, hey, everything's great in service, but man, that revenue part is huge.
Well, and here's the deal. I mean, you work your tail off to, get leads, get a hold of people, meet with them, educate them on what they got, let them know what their options are, make a sale, earn a customer, right? And it's like at that point, we're putting most of our energy on new apps, new customers, so on and so forth. But listen, I mean, the bulk of our money, you guys, is in the back end of this. It's in that recurring revenue on your MAPDs, on your med subs, long-term care, as you said, Jeff, the gift that keeps on giving, 30-year renewal stream. So these are the things where you can really treat your business like a business, not just be a salesperson building a practice. I mean, being able to look at this stuff is huge. When we looked at this for my agency, we had at the time about 4,000 clients. By the time we got done auditing it, we realized we had 2,000 clients because our CRM didn't have the ability to update information or audit it on the back end. So we put a customer in there and we thought they're a client forever. We didn't go back in and update it if they left us or if they passed away or they switched or whatever, which no other CRM, to my knowledge, really has that function other than this. But the other thing we found was when we went back in, sorry, something popping up here. Jeff, can you see that little pop-up thing?
I don't. I'm just still seeing the same longevity screen.
Yeah, no biggie. Yeah, I'd like that to go away. Anyway, when we did this, we actually went back and started proactively servicing our existing customers, And when we did that, we saved our clients on average 33% of their premium, and we increased our per policy revenue by 50%. So to your point about after 6 years, your revenue falling off a cliff, but also we're only paid on the issued premium. So if you sell somebody at $90 a month and now they're paying $270 a month, you're not getting paid your percentage on that $270. You're getting paid your percentage on that $90. So not only is it a benefit to your client by saving them money, we save our clients on average of 34% by proactively servicing their business, but we also increase our revenue by 50% per policy, because not only are we increasing them from that $90 that we're getting paid on per month now to, let's say, $150 per month, but we saved our clients from the $270 down to the $150. So we saved them a bunch of money, we increased the basis that we're getting paid, and we increased the period of time that we're getting paid. So everybody wins in that scenario, and that's a really a good deal. So this gives you the tools.
That Josh, is incredible. I just make sure people understand that. I mean, you are saving your customers 33% on their insurance costs. They're thankful for you doing this, and you are putting 50% more revenue on them. It is such a huge win-win that if you're not doing this, or not aware of it, or don't have a mechanism to do it, that's just, in my opinion, if there's a tool that can do that for you without having to do it yourself and spend your time doing it, you have to know about this tool. It's the biggest sizzle in this thing, Josh, but go ahead.
Yep. I mean, when you take your 300,000 recurring revenue, you turn it into 450,000, and you have clients that are thrilled, because you saved them 33%, 34% of their premiums. That's a good deal, man. Everybody's a winner there. So this is another analytic that we have. And here's the thing, guys. The key to this is the fact that you've got your client information, your policy information, your quoting information, all that stuff in the same spot. You can't do that from a filing cabinet. You can't do that from a spreadsheet. It's just this provides the unification of the info to allow you to really have these analytics. So this is really key. This is the other thing we have on the account level. And so this will show you the number of accounts you have, the premiums you've got, and it's broken down by you or your downline producers or both, carriers and product types. So you can look at, hey, who do I have who's got a Mutual of Omaha Med Sup that doesn't have a dental, vision, hearing, or long-term care? And then you can kind of cross those lists and say, who do I have who's 50 to 64, who's got a critical illness policy that doesn't have long-term care, whatever. So the point is, you can look at your business and manage your business like a business. That's the whole thing about this story of leveling up and getting to the next level and all these kind of things we talk about is, what are you missing right now that is preventing you from getting to the next step? And the first thing is branding, setting yourself up from a branding standpoint to attract clients and attract recruits to your organization is key. And then the second thing is this technology. Being able to have all of your information in one spot is what allows you to scale. Whether you're scaling by building out staff as an agency and growing your agency from that standpoint, or you're growing by building out, producers and helping them develop their career. Either way, you get to a point where you got 500 or 600 clients where, unless you're building through staff or you're building through producers, you're not going to get a heck of a lot bigger because you're spending most of your time on retention and reactive service stuff. So, Jeff, any other thoughts on the tech in terms of what you've seen from your top producers, top agencies?
Yeah, just key to know if Mutual of Omaha is having a 34% rate increase in a certain state, that'd be kind of nice to know I could pull all my Mutual of Omaha people. So that part is huge. Just without that knowledge, I don't know how you're managing in this day and age with all the rapid rate changes and increases we hear about. It's just so much to get your arms around. But so you need a service team. You really need someone to help you with that. And so go ahead. So
this is really, I mean, if we have a secret weapon, you guys, it's this. So if you haven't been paying attention, now's a good time to get refocused. So we built a proactive service team here at my agency, and that's what really allowed us the opportunity with the infrastructure and scale to really go out and proactively manage these thousands of clients. And let me tell you something. When you reach out to people and you let them know what they have and what it's changing to and what their options are, they like that. When you're not sitting around just kind of aggressively waiting for your phone to ring for a client that's not happy, that's not the best way to do it. If you let them know what they've got and what it's changing to and what their options are, they really appreciate that. They think that that's what we're supposed to do, as a matter of fact. And so when they get that, the expectation, people get angry or frustrated when their expectation is unequal to their reality. If expectation and reality are close, you got people who are for you a bunch of business, who are excited about doing business with you, who appreciate you. They view you as a professional, they view you as a resource, and they want to help you grow your business with them. So when we started doing our proactive service model, it was amazing. And then it worked out so well that we thought, gosh, we just started doing this, and we have tons of clients. And man, there's a bunch of other agencies that don't have this kind of infrastructure. They don't have this scale. They don't have this branding and technology in place. We probably have some other people. And we thought, you know what? If we're talking to Mutual of Omaha and Aetna and GTL and all these carriers about these products, pretty much everyone else is talking. Pretty much everyone else is using the same carriers and the same products as well. So, you know, if we got 10 more people to talk to Aetna about when we got them on the phone, or 5 more Mutual of Omaha long-term care conversations a week, what's a big deal? We've already got our people trained for that. So we started talking to agencies about providing really the infrastructure for them to help them grow their agency. A lot of us come into this business, guys, and we're not operations people. We're salespeople, or we're manager people, or we're a combination of the two. Most of us are not operators. Most of us are not builders of stuff. We love helping people. We love making money helping people, and this happens to be an awesome industry. But most of us don't have the acumen, I'm going to say, to go and recruit and train and develop a bunch of staff, manage that staff, be an employer, have a bunch of W-2s, you know, and that kind of stuff. So it's like, and it was a nightmare for me, because I'm very much a producer person. I'm not a manager person. I'm certainly not an operations person, but I've sort of become these things, and it's been pretty agonizing to get to this point, because all you want to do is sell. All you want to do is see new people. All you want to do is sell. And we've got, for those of us that are successful in this business, we've got that, like that you know, that itch that needs to be scratched, if you will, for meeting new people, building relationships, making new sales. But then on the back end, it just kind of falls out the back end. So this proactive service model is super powerful. So I'm going to some of these structures, and this is what we do that's really changing the industry right now, you guys. So this is an example of what we do. So what we do in our service model is very simply, we apply our team to your business. So these are some actual people on my team that are in my office right now, helping people manage their books of business. So as a producer, we apply you as a producer and your brand. Hopefully you have one, and we give you a dedicated phone number, either local and or 1-800 number, and a dedicated email. So Jeff, it'd be like, if you don't have one, it'd be like service@goldencare.com or goldencareusa.com. So it's service at whatever your domain name is, and then any kind of incoming emails go to us. Our goal with this is to help you bypass you and have the reactive service go straight to us. So we're already on the phone with these carriers. We're already solving these same problems. And if you're out in this field seeing new people and writing new business, it's super difficult to like also be taking care of all these reactive issues and all the retention issues. So we take care of reactive service, we take care of retention, and we also help you generate additional revenue, which is another huge structure here, on the existing clients that you've got. Most of us are good at 1 or 2 things. We're not good at 4 or 5 things. So we built out the firm here that has strength in all these different areas. So we can help you generate additional revenue off of life, and not just final expense. I'm talking about underwriting life, that kind of thing, underwritten life. Annuities, we do a lot of work in that space as well. We have a P&C division. We're building out an RIA right now. We have been an IAR of an RIA, but now we're building an RIA. And so we can either provide leads directly to you, or we can actually make sales and split the revenue with you on these products and help you generate a ton of additional revenue. So this is an example of what one of these letters would look like, kind of at the onset, or we call the service introduction letter. So it just says, hey, appreciate the opportunity to work with you as a client. It's been awesome. I've got this new team who's going to help me provide some additional capacity and a higher level of service than I've been able to provide in the past. And really, this allows you to go fast. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only person that when I was building my agency, I just constantly felt like I could go faster, but I was limited by the staff that I have, and I was limited by my retention and my reactive service, my phone blowing up constantly. If you can put your foot on the gas and keep it on the gas as an agency builder person, that's the greatest gift of all. Being able to actually just go out and grow as fast as you can and not have, your infrastructure or your scale slow you down. So every time we communicate to a client, this is what shows up. Here's who we are. The other thing is we'll build out a marketing calendar every year. So if you've got MAPDs, we're reaching out to them during AEP. So from a retention standpoint, we manage all your retention. And Jeff, I know that my agency was not unique in this. During AEP, everyone's running around like a chicken with their heads cut off, right? you got 500.
You can only do two things. We talk about it. You can either save the ones you got, or you can add new ones. But once you hit 400 or 500 clients, it gets really difficult to do both.
It's super difficult. AEP is like the most fertile ground there is. We can go out and every single person we talk to who's got a Medicare card is a prospect. And yet 90% of the time that we spend is with our existing clients because we love them and we care about them. We want to keep them. But like that's prohibitive for us, so we're stuck kind of basically reselling and moving people from point A to point B and keeping them. 80 or 90% of our business is retaining the business we have instead of bringing on new customers during the most profitable time of year. And then we feel like we're super productive and awesome because I wrote 500 MAPDs this year. Well, dude, how many of them did you already have in the books? 501. Okay, great. All you've done is kept the business you would have kept anyway. So our service team, number one, we take care of reactive service, any kind of needs. I need a card, I need to change this, I need a new bank account, whatever. We take care of all that. Everything is transparent. We document everything. We record 100% of our phone calls in the cloud. So that's huge. From a retention standpoint, we will market to your clients during AEP and make sure that they either stay on the plan they've got, or if there's a better one, we put them on it. So your job is during AEP and throughout the year, put your foot on the gas and grow. You don't have to worry about reactive service. You don't have to worry about retention. And by being totally focused on a particular product or market segment, we can also generate very significant amounts of additional revenue off of marketing some other things to your clients. We have one guy right now that I just got numbers on this week. He's 1,000 clients. We've gotten through about 25% of them, Jeff. And this guy, we've sold 15 life or annuity deals for him. It's going to end up being $25,000 in revenue for him, and we're about 25% of the way into his business. This guy's paying us. The mining for new. So just make sure I just for the internet because I just think it's so neat. Just imagine if during and I have enough MAP just myself. I don't read a whole ton, but I probably have a couple hundred of them. I mean, it's the worst when someone calls you and says, "Hey, can you run my prescriptions for me? I'm not sure if this plan." You don't want to be rude to the person, but I don't have time to go through. They get you 26 prescriptions that you have to go on to the government site and run this darn thing. Or they want to see if there's anything better. I don't know. Just checking in with you, Jeff. I want to see if there's a better Medicare. Am I good where I am? Just imagine if all those phone calls didn't go to you. They went to someone else who just serves them for you. That's it. And you could just get there and write new people. And how often do I get calls from people, and I'm embarrassed to say I just don't have time, but they'll say, "Hey, Jeff, I could really use a dental plan." I'm like, I do a couple. I don't have the time to search for it. I just don't. They ask me about life insurance. I don't really get back to them because I'm just too busy. So just imagine every time that phone rang, the things you can't do, you let Josh's team do them for you. All it is a win for you. You're keeping all those people on board while you're writing new ones, what you're good at. Maybe you're good at Medicare sales. What a huge tool to have. So when you want to cross-sell, add extra revenue, keep the revenue you got, all under one roof. So it's pretty cool. Go ahead, sorry. Thank you, buddy. Let me take that to another level. Your phone won't ring, not only because it won't ring because it'll come to us instead, but by proactively letting people know what they have and what their options are, they're not even going to wonder. That's just not even going to call you because we've already told you. There's a whole nother level to that. So it's number one, it's bypassing those calls so you can stay productive. But number two, it's preventing those calls from even happening by proactively letting people know what their options are. They're wondering that stuff. We come right at them and tell them, look, here's what you got and here's what your options are. So we build out an individual campaign for you from a marketing.
And Josh, you do that with a letter, right? So people are wondering, what do you mean how they know? It's like, well, yeah, you're literally going to send a campaign out to them. Your rates are changing from this supplement, going from X dollars to X dollars. How would you like company A and B instead that are $137 instead of $197 for that rate increase you're about to get? Or there's new things available in AEP. Here's options 1 and 2 if you're not happy with what you got. So you're right. You're keeping the phone from ringing. And if they do call on that stuff, your team writes them for them. So
it's powerful stuff, guys. And really, I mean, if you're in the business of building a company, if you're in the business of building a business or an agency or practice or whatever, you've got to get your arms around this. And for those of us who are really bred to be salespeople, to all of a sudden take our foot off the gas and have to recruit and train and develop staff or producers is not what we're good at. We burn through people left and right because we're not great managers. For the man, I speak for maybe just myself. If you're a great producer, you're probably not a terrific manager. That's just kind of the science of the thing. So, but by being able to leverage what we've built here, and again, if you have staff and you love them, great. If you have staff and you need more, we could probably plug in. If you don't have staff and you need it, we can provide an immense amount of value here for what ends up being really pennies on the dollar for what you're doing in terms of recurring revenue and what you could hire somebody for. So for the amount, if you've got, to give an example, if you've got 1,000 clients, MedSep or MEPD active clients, we'll be able to manage your entire book of business for you and create retention, reactive service, and cross-selling and upselling for you for less than what it would cost you to hire one person. And you never have to worry about being an employer. You never have to worry about W-2s or unemployment claims or any of that kind of crap. And you essentially are hiring my entire firm of 12 people and growing to work for you. It's really an amazing deal. It's been a ton of fun. We're adding an amazing amount of value.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Literally, people came in that we bring in for some of our bigger prospects. We fly them in and we, they check out the operation, meet our people and stuff. And the lesson we had in a couple of weeks ago looked around and goes, for less than what it would cost me to hire someone, one single person with no experience, no license, no nothing, I get this whole entire place to work for me for less money. I'm like, yeah, really, when you put it that way, I feel like we should probably charge more. I'm like, but yeah, that's what you're getting. You're getting a team of licensed, certified, contracted, experienced people. Our specialists are licensed in 50 states. The agency is licensed in 50 states. We've got, customer service. It's pretty amazing, and it's been a ton of fun seeing what we can do to help people grow their bit. Just in the short, since the beginning of the year when we started rolling out this full program, it's been unbelievable seeing what these people can do in terms of, you can sell a whole bunch of more new business than you were before if you have nothing but time. You can bring on a lot more clients than normal. Not to mention your existing clients are as good or better taken care of than you could on your own. So it's a total game changer, you guys. So,
Josh, I'm just saying this thing again, just so that I want to make sure that people understand this. So yeah, we're kind of getting close to the end of the hour here. Appreciate for everyone staying with us and everything. So just remember, everything you've seen here, there's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of things. It's all a cart. You may have some of these things buttoned up pretty good. You may have saw some big shortcomings in your business. So just kind of keep in mind that there's little bits and pieces of those tools that you can buy. Doesn't have to be an all-encompassing thing. Josh and his team will follow up with you guys, let you know how that works. But I just want to make sure you understood that.
Yep, and appreciate that segue. That's all I got right now. We're going to get you guys emailed. We've got this market positioning guide that we built for GoldenCare. It talks about some of these basic structures, kind of as an overview between the branding and the tech and the service. So we'll get that out to everybody's on the call. So we appreciate you hopping on. We do have a 20% what we call channel partner discount for everybody who's working with GoldenCare for the first 12 months of the relationship. But when we're talking about branding and tech and service, these are things that are key. If you've got them, then awesome. But if you don't, you need them. You got to have these things in place to really be a builder of an agency. And so we love the opportunity to just have a discussion. If you're in a good spot, we'll let you know. If you got some options, we'll talk about them. That's really what we're about. So thank you for being on the call. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for GoldenCare. It's been an awesome relationship. We look forward to continuing to grow this. But our team will be in touch and hop on the phone. Let's have a conversation and see what we can do to help you level up.
All right. Thanks a lot, Josh. Thanks, everyone, for coming on board. You will get an automatic email with, I think they get a copy of this presentation, some other stuff in there. So look for that. And if you have any questions, there'll be information there. Give us a call at the marketing office, 800-842-7799. We'll hook you up with Josh's team. Otherwise, I think Josh's team will be proactive and probably follow up on most of the folks that are on here. So thanks a lot, Josh. I really appreciate it.
You guys have a great week, everybody.
Okay. Thanks now, buddy.
Check out our website, goldencareagent.com, or give us a call at 800-842-7799.